Guidehouse Incorporated and its recently appointed 15-person ARPA advisory committee. The money can be used where it is needed most, but in a manner that follows all federal rules.
Guidehouse will be creating internal controls, grant rules that comply with the federal regulations, scoring matrices, which I think will really help the city and city council determine funding for outside organizations, guidance for granting dollars if there's eligible, etc.
Guidehouse said in a presentation before City Council that they have experience allocating similar funding programs in cities across the country and have been helping other municipalities with their ARPA needs as well. The company says it will only invoice for services on a monthly basis not to exceed the total of $850,000 over the course of the 3-year agreement, and that services can be scaled up or down as deemed appropriate by Council as ARPA funds are spent. Radio 100.5 and 790.
The public is invited to the Saginaw Career Complex for their annual open house on Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. You can take a tour, meet instructors, learn about state-approved career and technical education programs, and take part in hands-on activities. Students at SCC are able to explore careers and get hands-on training, project-based learning, work experience, and a variety of immersive career-related field trips and college tours. Students can also earn college credit and professional certifications that can lead to employment or Saginaw Career Complex offers over 20 different programs. Monday afternoon at 12:38, Huron County Sheriff's deputies responded to Elkton Road between McAlpin Road and Bach Road, which was the scene of a 2-vehicle injury crash. However, one of the vehicles continued on without stopping. Sheriff Kelly Hansen said, "We're asking for help in locating that driver and the vehicle involved, along with what it was pulling." Preliminary investigation indicates a 2002 Dodge pickup being driven by a 52-year-old Cass City woman. The vehicle was impacted in some form by what was described as a southbound white pickup with a yellow beacon on top of it, pulling a piece of farm machinery. Pieces of that machinery found at the scene suggested to be a planter or drill. Cass City and Owendale firemen used the jaws of life to free the Cass City woman, and she was taken to Hills and Dales Hospital by Shure Ambulance. She was later transferred to an out-of-county hospital with serious injuries. Information about the second vehicle involved is asked to call the Huron County Sheriff's Office or Central Dispatch. Confidential callers can use the department's tips line, 989-269-2861. WSGW News Time, 9:08.
This is Rachel from the SVRC Marketplace, located at 203 South Washington, right on Riverfront Saginaw. This winter weather sure is cold, so what better way than to warm up inside? We offer global flavors like Creole Queens with her famous gumbo, and El Farolito with their popular tacos, sweet treats from many donors. Craven cookies, handmade wares with bling and jewelry boutique, and Asia's wigs and apparel. Comics, anyone? Check out Source Point Press. We welcome a new business, Cafe Versus, formerly Circus Snacks. Come shop inside the SVRC Marketplace, open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Need a rental space? Check out the Marketplace. Join us for our family fun on February 19th with DJ Ryan Russo and Electric Taco. Check out our Facebook page for more information. We thank you for the continued support of our small businesses. Remember to shop local, eat local, support small business, and we will see you at the market.
WSGW News Time, 9:09. The Federal Emergency Management Agency has awarded just over $931,000 to the village of Sanford for the acquisition and demolition of 14 homes that were damaged following the Midland Dam break in May 2020. To reduce the community's flood vulnerability and mitigate risk to life and property, the structures will be area and the location will be reverted to open space maintained by the city. Records show a man charged in an alleged plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer has agreed to plead guilty. MNN's Brooke Allen reports.
Caleb Frank says he willfully conspired with 5 other men to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer before FBI agents stepped in and arrested the group back in October of 2020. Franks signed a document agreeing to plead guilty as charged. Ty Garbin pled guilty in 2021 and was sentenced to more than 6 years in prison. This would leave 4 people to face trial in March. The government said 6 men wanted to kidnap the governor because of their disgust over her COVID-19 restrictions.
Party on Sunday? A recent poll suggests your spread won't be as big as it was in previous years. MNN's Tony Ortiz explains.
Inflation and supply chain issues are the main reason for that, as 40% of people who responded to a recent survey indicated that they won't be putting out as much food for their Super Bowl party, with prices higher than they were back in 2019, which was before the pandemic, while some key staples for those Super Bowl parties, like chicken wings, dips, and certain types of alcohol, are currently in shorter supply. Now, this comes as more people will reportedly attend they did in 2021. 71% of respondents, in fact, said they will either go to a viewing party or are considering going to a Super Bowl party on Sunday. That's opposed to just 50% who answered that way last year. In addition, 67% of respondents do plan to watch the game this year. That's up from 61% last year. That could pay off in higher ratings for NBC for its broadcast of Super Bowl 56.
When you see news happening, call the WSGW at 20790. It's 911. I'm Dave Maurer.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology forecast. Partial sunshine is possible at times today. Highs will top out near 30 degrees. Winds southerly 5 to 15 miles per hour. Higher gusts possible. Tonight, mostly cloudy with steady or rising temperatures in the region. Winds southwest 5 to 15. Wednesday, cloudy, chance for snow showers developing or building into the area by afternoon. Highs make it into the upper 30s. Wednesday night, mostly cloudy, lows drop to 24. And then Thursday, it remains mostly cloudy and temperature to upper 20s. I'm meteorologist Phil Jensko with the WSGW Weatherology forecast. Right now, it's 20.
The only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you and welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. From my home studio, the Saginaw Spirit Home Studio, brought to you today by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. You can call Linda at 989-295-7713. Have her go to work for you. Or you can stop in and visit her inside the Point at M46 and M47, where you'll also find Cafe 476 and its delicious soups and beverages and foods. We're going to talk about the environment this morning and weather and climate, and we're going to do that with a man whose last name has been synonymous with environmental issues for many, many years. All the years that I've been here, I came in 74, and his mother, Mary Sinclair, was very much involved in what was then the construction of the Midland nuclear plant. He has taken up the family sword, so to speak, and is well known around the world for environmental issues. And we say good morning to Peter Sinclair. Peter, good morning to you.
Hey, Art. It's great to be here.
And it's good to see you. We're on video, by the way, folks. You can watch us on the usual places, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all those good things.
Oh, no.
So you can smile. I hope you used your makeup this morning.
Yeah, that's right. Hope my cat doesn't jump on my shoulder.
There you go. Well, that'd be fun. Let me ask just as an overall question, because it seems we've been talking about the environment for a long time, even back to the days of your mom. It would seem to me, as a casual observer of all of this, that we in the United States have made pretty good strides in trying to reduce our carbon footprint, if you will. Better than many countries around the world. Is that accurate or is it not accurate?
Well, I think there's some accuracy to that. You know, we've started closing a lot of coal plants. That's true. In part, we've offshored a lot of manufacturing to China, which may account for some of the change. We have, as citizens, our individual sort of share of, say, a carbon footprint is pretty high, probably higher than just about anybody else on the planet. So, you know, we've made some progress. We got a ways to go. The technology is certainly there, and we've invented a lot of this technology here. I mean, certainly solar panels and advanced wind turbines and some of the advances that are being made in nuclear energy, even and geothermal things like that. We're kind of in danger of losing our leadership in some of those technologies because so many other countries around the world recognize that this is the greatest wealth creation opportunity maybe ever, certainly of this century.
You mentioned something. I'd be curious how you feel about this. If today Consumers Energy said, we're going to build a nuclear plant, would your mother have objected? Was it nuclear energy, or was it the construction that was going on that was her problem?
Well, at the time, there were a number of questions, and you and I have talked about this before. There were an untested emergency core safety system that was recognized by scientists around the country, and eventually resulted in the meltdown at 3 Mile Island. So there were some legitimate questions to ask. Now, there are new technologies in nuclear that are coming along that are being constructed now. We expect in the late 2020s, there will be what they call small modular nuclear reactors here in the United States. They will have to prove themselves in the marketplace. And in the meantime, we're shutting down a lot of coal plants, and rightfully so, because some of them are 50, 60, 70 years old. And fortunately, we've got some replacement technology in the form of wind energy and solar energy that is not only ready to go, it's really cheaper than anything else that's out there.
Let's talk about coal for a minute here.
Sure.
And this has always fascinated me. We spent in this country a ton of money improving stack emissions, scrubbers, you name it, all kinds of technology, which did a fairly good job of cleaning stack emissions. Is coal the fall guy in this, or is there a real legitimate reason that we should never ever burn coal again?
Well, I don't know if fall guy is right. I mean, coal was the technology that we had coming out of World War II when the economy was growing at a fantastic rate. And it did its job. It gave us the energy that we needed to kind of build this huge economy. We have recognized along the way that there are drawbacks with coal, and one of them is that no matter how you scrub it, it's still a highly toxic stuff. And if it doesn't go up into the air, then you have to pile it up somewhere on the land, and you've got a gigantic toxic waste problem that you have to deal with. Otherwise, you have it leaking into surface water and groundwater, and tens of thousands of people lose their lives still every year due to particulate pollution and the effect on people's lungs, hearts, and circulatory systems. So the fact that the clean energy technologies are now in place and quite a bit cheaper than coal, I think the marketplace is just doing its job. A lot of people don't recognize that coal is going away more because of the invisible hand and Adam Smith than because of Greenpeace or Peter Sinclair.
And what about oil as a firing mechanism?
Well, I think, I guess I don't know the numbers. I think a lot of the oil, maybe most we use, is going into transportation. We now have better options emerging in transportation, and General Motors, Ford, Chrysler, Volkswagen, everybody has kind of recognized that, because word on the street is once you drive one of these electric cars, you don't want to go back. And the price continues to drop. And we're seeing things like the new the Ford F-150 electric truck that has a lot of people excited. And it just looks like we're moving in that direction. I don't think we're going to stop drilling for oil because we use it for so many other things like medicines and paint and lubricants and
You name it.
on and on and on. Just about everything that you see as you look around you.
All right, I have to take a break. Hang on. We are talking to Peter Sinclair. We're talking about the environment and climate change, and we will do more of that when we return here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW.
Linex has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust-proofing and undercoating?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Linex have the only wax-based rust-proofing and military-spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty. No yearly touch-ups required.
And because the rust-proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Linex is located on Wilder Road in Bay City.
Give them a call at 989-671 or call them at their Grand Blanc location, 810-695-9000.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820 or in Grand Blanc, 810-695-9000.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
So you're thinking about a new job. Better update your resume. Better text that friend of a friend who works in HR. Or, better idea, you go to thenewmonster.com. Thousands of words of career advice. Now you're not just thinking about a new applying for it, interviewing for it, bragging before you even get it, investing in khakis. Good for you. Good for the world. Good way to find a new job. Go to thenewmonster.com or download our app today.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Pfizer expects to see $54 billion worth of COVID-19 vaccine and antiviral pill sales this year, though Wall Street was expecting an even stronger forecast. Harley Davidson made a profit in the holiday quarter after losing money a year ago. Harley sold more motorcycles, parts, and accessories in the period. Peloton Interactive's co-founder John Foley is stepping down as CEO as part of a cost-cutting plan that will eliminate 2,800 corporate jobs. The company says the positions will not involve or content. Foley isn't leaving the company. He'll be switching to executive chair. Spotify's former chief financial officer Barry McCarthy will be the new Peloton CEO. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Run, walk, honor. The Tunnel to Towers 5K Run and Walk in New York City retraces FDNY firefighter Stephen Siller's final footsteps on 9/11. That single event has inspired more than 70 runs, walks, and climbs in different cities across the nation each year. Register for an event in your area or volunteer to start one. Do good and never forget by donating $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
and EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the simple EPI.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
Once again, the amusing stories are coming out, having jokes about this for a number of Olympiads now. The official message from Beijing is for athletes to maintain social distance, at least 2 meters from fellow competitors. Avoid physical interactions, such as handshakes, high fives, and hugs. And by the way, here's some free condoms for you.
Now that's a mixed message.
With masks?
Oh, you're kidding.
Dr. Fauci, what would you do with that?
Yeah, right.
It mentions the last Olympic Games last year in Tokyo. 150,000 condoms were given out, but because of social restrictions at that time, athletes were told to take them home. Hey, I didn't get a medal. Condom.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you. We're chatting with Peter Sinclair, world-known environmentalist. You still have your website, climatecrocs.com?
I do. climatecrocs.com. But let me tell you a little story.
Okay.
Because we were talking about coal. About 13, 14 years ago, you may remember Consumers Energy actually had a plan to build a new coal plant here in the area. And, I was looking at that pretty close. And I had some very cordial interactions with folks at Consumers Energy. They actually invited me down to their headquarters a couple of times to talk about climate and energy. And at one point I had lunch with a high-ranking executive at the company. And maybe because they thought, because of history, that I was going to, create problems for them or something.
No family histories there,
Right.
right?
And no hard feelings here. I mean, I said, you guys, I think, if you think that I'm going to do something about this, you're wrong. First of all, been there, done that. Not interested. But secondly, I think you missed your window here because back in the early 2000s, like gas was really expensive, natural gas. Then we learned how to frack, and suddenly the price on that dropped precipitously. And now you want to build a coal plant? I think you're looking at possibly a stranded asset down the road if you do go ahead and build that. And long story short, about 3 months after that, they dropped the plans. And I later heard from somebody who was in the company at the time, about 10 years later, he approached me and said, everything changed after you had lunch with this gentleman.
You probably pointed out things they needed to hear.
Well, I hope so. I hope that's my role.
It's interesting because, you mentioned family history, and of course the family history with Consumers and the nuclear plant is well documented, well known. And in hindsight, when we look back, I think at the time when your mom was pointing all these things out about the construction of that plant, I think a lot of people, and maybe wrongly so, looked at her as just a thorn in their side, as an objectionist and what have you. Here we are many years later looking back on the way that plant would have been constructed, and your mother was probably right a lot of times.
Well, clearly there were problems. You remember they did a poor job of laying the foundation for that plant. And they, it started to crack and buckle even many years before it was to be completed. So that's a problem when you got a high-tech device. And you remember in 1986, we had a record flood that year, which I think was sort of an opening shot of climate change in this area. And had that plant been in operation at that time, it was in the floodplain. It would have quite likely been a similar situation to what we saw in Fukushima in 2011. Flooded, knock out the emergency generators, and then you got problems. And so it was, I think history would show that it was kind of poorly conceived, a bit of a tragedy that the nuclear industry kind of got ahead of itself there in the late 60s, early 70s, because to be fair, they believed that energy demand was going to continue to double every 10 years. But it didn't, because we learned how to save energy after the Arab oil embargo, and then energy use really flattened out, as you know.
Let me ask this question, and please don't misunderstand the way I'm asking it, but it seems to me that the environmental movement, to some degree, is responsible for some people not looking at it as seriously as they should. And the reason I say that is, by my memory anyway, and we'll take the last, let's say, 70 years, every now and then we hear from serious environmentalists, well, you've got 30 years left on the planet. Do it now or you're going to lose it. 30 years comes, goes, and the next thing you hear, well, you got 20 years left. And the last thing I heard was last year, I think somebody said, well, there's 12 years left. You got to act now. Where does that leave us, the average person, to believe or not believe?
Well, I'm with you. 15 or so years ago, when I really started working hard on climate change, biggest part of my job was pushing back on misinformation, especially on the internet. People who said, climate change is not happening, humans aren't causing it. Most people have come around to at least being concerned about climate and wanting to do something about it now. And I'm spending probably a big part of my time, maybe most of my time, pushing back against what I call the doom and gloomism, and my friend Michael Mann, well-known climate scientist at Penn State University, just wrote a book called The New Climate War, and he talks about this in there. Certainly, if we'd begun to act on climate 30 years ago, things would have been better. They say best time to plant a tree is 30 years ago, and the second best time is now. It's not that it is not a serious problem. It is a tremendously serious problem. And I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the extremes that we've seen just in the last year, just to illustrate that. But there's never going to be a time when it's not a good idea to cut down on heat trapping pollution. And it's always going to be better if we do it, even if we do it late, than if we don't do it. The 10-year deadlines are they're not helpful.
I somehow suspected you were going to say that. I just, in talking to you over the years and knowing how you look at this problem, I just assumed that's what I was going to hear from you. And I fully agree. I do have to ask this, and we'll get into some of these climate changes that you want to talk about, but as a percentage, if we can say that, what percentage of this climate change do we attribute to humans? And what percentage do we say Mother Nature's at work? Or the ice age, or whatever you want?
Right. That's such a great question. And in fact, somebody asked me that just in the last week. And I usually go to my friend Gavin Schmidt, who is director of the Goddard Institute for Space Studies at NASA. And Gavin will tell you that when you look back over time at all of the what we call forcings, the things that change temperature, global temperature up and down, the forcings that are in play right now, if you took human beings completely out of the picture, would be leading the planet on a slow, gradual cooling path. But that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing a relatively rapid warming. So Gavin would say that human input is actually more than 100%, because we're not only overcoming that cooling trend, we're warming the planet pretty rapidly. So yeah, it's there are, without a doubt, there are natural trends, and it kind of makes me smile sometimes when I hear from somebody, "Don't you know the planet has cycles?" And I would say, well, yeah, the scientists that have been spending all of their lives looking at this, they have asked that question. You're not the first one to think of that, and those cycles are understood pretty well. And go ahead, you were going to say.
Oh, that's all right. Go ahead, finish up.
Well, so when scientists started looking at that was one of the first questions they asked, and so they said, if humans are causing warming, what will that look like? It'll have a fingerprint. It'll be different than if it's a natural warming. And just a few of them, for instance, the lower atmosphere is warming, the upper atmosphere is cooling. That's a human fingerprint. It's warming faster in the Arctic than in the rest of the planet. That's a human fingerprint. It's warming faster in the winter than during the summer. It's warming faster at night than during the day. There's a whole list of these fingerprinting studies that scientists have done that indicate that there's really no natural process that could have caused them.
All right, hang on. I got to take a break, Peter. We will be back. We're talking to Peter Sinclair about the environment and the climate. And we will be back to do more of that in just a couple of moments. Let me talk to you about my friends at the Thalen Auto Group. For years, you've heard me touting the outstanding lineup of new cars from the Thalen Auto dealerships on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. But think of this. Almost every time Thalen sells a new car, they take in a pre-owned vehicle in trade. Now, they take that vehicle and they inspect it. They bring it up to their standards before they ever put it on the lot. And couple that with the fact that Thalen also scours the market for additional used cars meeting their exacting standards. And the Thalen Auto Group in Bay City becomes your one-stop shop for fully inspected used vehicles. Hundreds of them to choose from right on Euclid Avenue in Bay City, probably more selection than any other location in the Tri-Cities. And you can also shop certified pre-owned vehicles from Audi, Volkswagen, Subaru, Mazda, Honda, Kia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. And by the way, they have also gone into electric vehicles. Don't spend days going from dealership to find good selections. Stop at the Thalen Auto Group on Euclid Avenue in Bay City. Spend the afternoon shopping hundreds of vehicles, or check them out online at thinkthalen.com.
There's going to be one day this winter. The temperature will be 10 below. A 45-mile-an-hour wind with driving snow is making it seem like 50 below. Is your garage door going to be ready for that day? Call M&R Garage Door now. M&R can service your existing garage door and opener, both residential and industrial. Or M&R can install a Clopay insulated garage door to keep your home warm. Make sure your garage door is ready for that day and every other day this winter. Call M&R Garage Door, 894-0. This is their specialty.
This is the time of year when all the talk about who has the top corn hybrids in Michigan goes out the window. This is the time when the performance data and the numbers have the final say. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the numbers are in, and they're saying a whole lot about the yield potential of Dairyland Seed. Once again, Dairyland Seed turned out an impressive performance in Michigan First Trials, highlighted by 5 first-place finishers. To learn more about how Dairyland Seed brings the yield, or to find the corn hybrid best suited to your farm, visit dairylandseed.com or contact your local dealer.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kleiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book, Easier, and Empower Your Retirement. They talk about how a well-thought-out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show. Power Hour every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
How do you make the most of your land? Shaw does it behind the wheel of the John Deere 1025R compact tractor.
Shaw stands for skilled hands at work.
And he lives up to the name as he uses his versatile tractor to make
the earth take the shape that I wanted to take.
And the Allens fire up their John Deere 3032E compact tractor to grow about 9 acres of flowers. Because the beauty of having land is deciding how to make it yours. There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. Learn at Deere.com. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is a test. WSGW is conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is This is a test of the emergency alert system on WSGW. Equipment that can quickly warn you during emergencies is being tested. W serves Saginaw, Bay, and Midland counties, along with the surrounding area. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system on WSGW.
On the next Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins show, these 3 words have made the news. Pantyhose, face mask, hack.
Is that Hunter Biden's to-do list? Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
This is the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios, 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, talking to environmentalist Peter Sinclair about climate change and other environmental topics. Peter, I have to ask, how do we get the other players in the world on board, the Chinas, the Indias, and the other countries that don't seem to want to play the game?
Well, we lead. I think the world is a better place when the United States is leading. And I frankly think the United States is a better place when Michigan is leading. It was certainly the case in the last century. And I think the leaders in places like China and India get it, that this is the opportunity of the century. They don't want to miss out, but they have their own constituencies that they have to placate there. And without the United States really taking a clear leadership role, there's always this sort of, there's a drag on the system. And they, historically, what we've seen is that they have followed our development path, for good or for ill. They will follow our path. And if the United States really gets its act together, Europe is doing pretty well. That's a huge part of the global economy, those two economies right there. And China is, moving very quickly, deploying clean energy. So is India. They're burning a lot of coal, but they know they've got problems, and they can't just keep on the same path that they've been on. So I think just leadership is the way to go.
All right. So you wanted to talk about extremes and things that are happening in the climate world. Give us some examples.
Well, yeah, I mean, this past year has been rather extraordinary. If you go back to the heat wave that happened in the Pacific Northwest back in June, July. 120 degrees in Lytton, Canada, breaking the temperature record by 17 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not just a run-of-the-mill temperature record. That's an astounding event. And I spoke to Daniel Swain at the National Center for Atmospheric Research shortly after that. And he said, what is alarming is, first of all, that's an astonishing thing and probably would have been all but impossible 30 years ago. But now, obviously, since it happened, it is possible. And what would a 17-degree temperature record look like in a place like Phoenix? You're looking at 135, 138 degree high. What would it look like in New Delhi, in Pakistan, in Iraq? We've now changed the atmosphere enough that those kind of events are possible, and we're going to start seeing more of them. And then bring it up to December. This astounding tornado that hit Kentucky was not completely unprecedented for that time of year, but it was certainly very, very powerful. And then 5 days later, you had this massive tornado outbreak and derecho storm that came across the Midwest on December 15th. First derecho storm ever recorded in December. That's one of these massive lines of thunderstorms that races across, hundreds of miles and spins out tornadoes, and ended up with not only the first tornadoes ever recorded in Minnesota in December, but the largest outbreak of tornadoes in Southeast Minnesota ever in December. So again, this is crazy stuff. And then a few days after that, this blowtorching of Boulder County was just an astonishing event.
All right, hang on. We had a caller, by the way, wanted to know
Sure.
how she can contact you. Do you have? Is there a contact on your website or on Facebook? Or
Yeah, if you go, you can follow me on Twitter at Peter W. Sinclair. At Peter W. Sinclair. I'm on Facebook, Peter Sinclair. I'm sure you can find me. If you go to climatecrocs.com, I think there is a contact link there for me.
Yeah, there is. All right, we'll be right back and talk more with Peter when we return here on WSGW.
Get huge savings with fuel rewards every time you fill up at one of your 26 area Forward Shell convenience stores. Get at least 5 cents off a gallon every single fill up and earn even store. You can regularly save 10, 20, even 30 cents off a gallon, which means less money goes into your tank and more stays into your wallet. Visit fuelrewards.com to sign up and start saving today. That's Fuel Rewards at your area Forward Shell convenience stores. And remember, when you want to pay less at the pub, go Forward.
Elise and Carl needed a small business loan fast to order more equipment for their bakery. Elise suggested ondeck.com, but instead, Carl called
Wrong Falcon!
Wait, no.
Bad Falcon! Healed! Wrong Falcon, why?
There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. OnDeck, the online lender that makes it easy to apply in minutes and, if approved, get your loan as soon as the same day. With lines of credit up to $100,000 and term loans up to $250,000, OnDeck lets you choose the loan that's right for your business. As America's largest online small business lender, OnDeck has funded over $14 billion to businesses like yours, so you can get your loan fast. Go to ondeck.com. Your loan is on deck. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank, a Utah chartered industrial bank member FDIC. Limited eligibility for same-day funding. OnDeck does not lend in every state. All loans subject to lender approval.
This is important news. If you have unfiled tax returns, the IRS is shifting gears and ramping up investigations on non-filers this year. If you failed to file your tax returns for a year or more, or you owe back taxes, now's the time to call Optima Tax Relief. Find you. Optima is America's #1 most trusted tax resolution firm, specialize in helping individuals, families, and businesses get right with the IRS. They're experts in the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, a powerful new program that can make resolving tax issues easier. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, Optima's award-winning team has helped thousands of people protect their paychecks, bank accounts, homes, and businesses by putting their tax problems to rest, resolving over $1 billion in tax debts for their clients. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Research shows people remember radio ads that remind them of the past. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's an ad that'll really take you back.
Back in my day, I heard a voice from the radio say, Liberty Mutual customized. Only pay for what I need. I'm getting on in years now, but heavens to Betsy, there are some things an old fella like me just never forgets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go Behind the Midnight.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
Bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
And we're back chatting with Peter Sinclair about climate and climate change. And, Peter, I have to ask because, we hear about these high temperatures that you've pointed out and some storms that we had not seen in eons. And at the same time, we hear about all this warmth and the fires and everything else. Comes a polar vortex that freezes oranges in Florida. Square.
Yeah, well, weirdly enough, as we have warmed the Arctic, it's affecting the flow of the jet stream. This is kind of cutting edge science. But what it means is that the jet stream starts to get waves and bulges in it. And it doesn't do a good job of keeping Arctic air sort of neatly tucked and packaged up there in the Arctic. And so you're actually starting to see more of these stuck jet streams drifting down over the United States and then staying stuck, and that's really the story of these severe polar vortex events like we saw in Texas last year, which, and you and I have talked about that, how, the gas lines froze up, the pipelines froze up, and basically 40% of their thermal generation went down. People tried to make that a story about wind turbines or solar energy, but it was, massively a failure of gas, coal, and nuclear that all froze up in that storm.
So as you look at it right now, and you look at this planet, what are your major concerns? What's your biggest concern?
Wow. Well, certainly climate is at the top, but everything's interconnected, as you know. My major concern, I think, is about democracy around the world. I think democracy is under attack right now, and I think to handle any of the problems that we have to deal with, and there are many, we need to right the ship of democracy. And I'm hopeful that we can do that. And because I think most people want to move ahead and deal with these problems. And I think clean energy actually is a profoundly democratizing force because it spreads economic power around to from, instead of like the big power plant where all the money goes to one big company and it all goes to a bank somewhere in New York. If you've got wind turbines and solar farms spread around to counties, towns, villages, and even individuals, homes and small businesses, then that spreads out power and that is a fundamentally democratizing force, and I'd like to see more of it.
Well, Peter, as always, it's always interesting to chat with you, and
yes,
we've learned something, and
hope so.
We'll have to do it again down the road.
I hope we will, Art. Hope we will.
All right. Well, take care, my friend.
I sure will. I sure will. You too. Stay safe. Be well.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye now.
Peter Sinclair, and we thank you for joining us today with a discussion on the environment. We're going to take our last break, and then we'll be back to close out this hour. We will have open phones next hour on the Art Lewis Show. We'll be back right after this.
We've all seen how unpredictable life can be, but here's one thing you can count on. The Covenant Center for the Heart is here for you. More people in the Great Lakes Bay region trust their to Covenant Healthcare than any other area hospital. Why? Because we have the most comprehensive cardiac care in the region. From diagnosis in our chest pain center, to the region's first structural heart disease program, to our cardiac rehabilitation and wellness center. And because we keep our patients safe, Covenant has been awarded an A rating for patient safety from the Leapfrog Group 7 times running. Heart condition, call your cardiologist. If you experience symptoms like chest pain or shortness of breath, call 911 or come to the Covenant Emergency Care Center. Don't delay care. Life and hearts can be unpredictable. Trust yours to Covenant Healthcare, the leader for extraordinary care.
Hi, this is Jessica. And at United Financial Credit Union, we want to help you save money on your monthly payments. Right now, you can take advantage of our debt consolidation loan and combine those high-rate loans into one low-rate monthly payment. This year, focus on you. We're here to help you improve your financial health with our debt consolidation loans, free financial counseling, credit rebuilding options, and so much more. Call, click, or stop in to transfer your high-rate loans to our debt consolidation. Not a member? Why not? It's never been easier to open an account. It's time for you to check out your local friendly credit union and see how we will put you first.
Some restrictions may apply. See credit union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA. Equal housing lender.
We're where you work, where you live. United Financial Credit Union. Serving the loud community.
Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Get Upside app and get 25 cents per gallon cash back on every gallon of gas you buy. Don't miss out. Millions of people have earned over $200 cash back every month just by using Get Upside and getting gas, which you were going to do anyways. There's no catch. It's simple and free. Download the free Get Upside app now and use promo code HYBRID to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. That's promo code HYBRID. Why does Walgreens $0 and 90-day refills? Because we care about Medicare, so you don't have to. I mean, do you really care to hear me go on about same-day prescription delivery making your life easier? Or how there's a pharmacy expert available 24/7 and one-click refills? Well, I just did anyways. Fill your Medicare prescriptions with Walgreens and save.
$0 copays apply to Tier 1 generic drugs and select plans with Walgreens as a preferred pharmacy. Restrictions apply. See walgreens.com/Medicare for complete details.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
And that'll do it for this hour of the Art Lewis Show. Our thanks to Peter Sinclair for joining us. We're going to move over for the next hour, and it'll be open phones. So whatever you want to chat about, you can give us a call. That'll be after the news. And that news provided by CBS, the National and International Report. And, of course, we'll have the local report to bring you up to date on the Great Lakes Bay region and the state of Michigan. And then we'll be back. It's open phones when we return.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery show in the Design Center Studios.
This is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Power of the Dog leads the race to the Oscars.
Well, other film?
Jane Campion's Gothic Western has just received 12 nominations, the most of any other movie. Dune follows with 10. Fandango's Eric Davis on one of the nominees for lead actor.
Will Smith, he becomes the third black actor to be nominated 3 times. And I category love him in King Richard.
I wrote me a 78-page plan for their whole career before they was even born.
Steven Spielberg is nominated for his 8th directing prize for West Side Story. The awards will be handed out March 27th. States and school districts across the country are getting the okay to lift mask mandates. But Vanderbilt University's Dr. William Schaffner is concerned.
Better to wear the mask a month too long than take off the mask a month too soon, because we don't suddenly want to see a splurge of infections occur that slow down this move away from the pandemic to endemic.
California is doing away with mask mandates for vaccinated people indoors next week. The retired Pope is asking for pardon in the clergy sex abuse scandal. Reporter Sabina Castelfranco from Rome.
Pope Emeritus Benedict asked forgiveness today for errors made in the use cases while he was Archbishop of Munich, saying he had great responsibilities in the Catholic Church. But Benedict failed to admit personal wrongdoing in 4 specific cases.
Police in Washington state have arrested a suspect in a supermarket shooting that left one person dead and another in critical condition. This woman works at the Fred Meyer store in Richland.
I was helping someone with their groceries when my boss and a bunch of people started running outside and saying, "Run, run, there's an active shooter."
The motive unclear. Drive a Kia or a Hyundai? There's a warning to park them outside. WWJ's Jeff Gilbert is in Detroit.
This is related to a problem with a possible electrical short in the anti-lock brake module. 11 fires have been reported, but no injuries. The 20 models affected are some of Kia and Hyundai's biggest names, including the Sportage, Santa Fe, Tucson, and K900.
All eyes are on the women's slalom and an American skier. CBS's Steve Futterman is at the Winter Games.
This will be Michaela Schifrin's second event at the Beijing Olympics. The first event was just a disaster. That was the giant slalom. She fell and missed a gate at the very start of the first run and was disqualified. She won gold in this event 8 years ago at the Sochi Olympics.
This is CBS News.
Find your next great hire with Indeed. Our hiring platform makes it easy to attract, screen, and interview candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Now is the perfect time to start thinking about what direction you want to go this summer. Let Capocco Community Credit Union help you with a summer adventure. Paths and trails lead to fun with a new toy for the summer, like a dirt bike, maybe a new ATV, or even something the entire family can enjoy, like a camper. See a Capocco Community Credit Union loan officer today and ask how they can help. Find out more at capocco.org, member NCUA.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply. And then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save at RocketGrabPlus.com? You can check out our deals going on right now from Nom Nom Ninja, 120 Fitness, Uplift Creative Center, Joyce's Purple Palette, Woody's Hot Dogs, Wonder Burger, King's Fish and More, Boutique Tanning and Salon. Half off? You bet. It's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
From the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
30 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Ian Williams. Saginaw County Prosecutor John McColgan's office has determined that an officer-involved shooting in Saginaw on August 5th was justified. The incident happened as officers on the Saginaw Emergency Services team were executing a no-knock search warrant at 814 South Harrison shortly after 6:30 a.m. The warrant came after drug sales and weapons were seen at the house and multiple drive-by shootings had occurred. As they were entering the house, two of the officers shot at a man who was lying on the home's living room floor. I saw him firearm and pointed at them. The man was given medical treatment at the scene and taken to the hospital, where he was listed in critical condition. McColgan's office said after reviewing witness statements, video, and audio recordings of the incident, as well as other available evidence, they have concluded that the use of deadly force was justified under the circumstances. Saginaw will be adding another tool to appropriately allocate its American Rescue Plan funds. WSGW's Rick Antonio has more.
In partnership with Guidehouse Incorporated Financial Advisory Group, city officials will better learn the ins and outs of how to appropriately use its $52 million of ARPA money. City Manager Tim Morales says working with Guidehouse could also help stretch that money by using it on areas of attention that don't already have or have upcoming state or federal grant programs.
They can help us leverage if there are additional federal funds out there to help with a specific project or a commodity that is going to be purchased with ARPA funds. There might be someone else doing that. So the state of Michigan might have funds available where, hey, ARPA money, you ask the state to buy it, or they're aware of other federal programs or state programs.
Morales says a way to look at it, the 15-person advisory committee of the city recently will help determine how the city wants to use the money. Guidehouse will help determine if those decisions fall within ARPA rules. The 3-year agreement will be on a month-to-month basis for 3 years, with invoices not totaling more than $850,000. Council can scale up or down the level of service as needed. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
WSGW News Time is 10:07.
Superior Insurance Group, formerly Northway Plum Insurance and Henry's Wealth Solutions, bring you to the first annual Rat Pack Gala. We invite you Saturday, February 19th to get your tux and petticoats out for the classiest event of the year. You will enjoy cocktails, followed by a plated meal, dancing, and a show. Cash bar and dinner are from 5 until 7 p.m., followed by the big show from 7 until 10 p.m. During the big show, you will be transported back in time by a 17-piece orchestra and the Rat. Held at the Doubletree by Hilton, 1 Winona Park Place, Bay City, 48708. Tickets can be purchased by going online to theratpackgala.live. Individual tickets are $200 or $2,000 for a table of 10. The proceeds from the show will go to the Bay City Noon Rotary Charitable Foundation that focuses on youth and education in Bay County. Join us Saturday, February 19th for good food, great entertainment, and most important, a good cause. Visit the Rat Pack for tickets today.
WSGW News Time is 10:08. Bryan's Fruit and Meat Market in West Branch caught fire Sunday afternoon and is a total loss. No one was hurt in that fire at the popular store on M76. The market was locally owned for more than 30 years. The owner, Brian Beecham, says he was in the building when he noticed the smoke and tried to put out the fire with an extinguisher. He called 911 to get fire units to the scene, but the building was gutted despite the crews. Brent Banning, the chief of the Ogemaw Fire Department, said he believes the fire started in the central part of the building near a cooler. He says right now the suspected cause is an electrical problem. Chief Banning says a Michigan State Police fire investigator will be called to help look into an exact cause of the fire. Trial led to the Flint water crisis, tied to the Flint water crisis, is expected to move forward as a federal judge is ruling on a lawsuit involving a 30-page opinion and order shows that will be a trial to decide if 3 companies involved in the crisis should be held liable for injuries suffered by the children. The lawsuit claims the children have suffered neurocognitive harms because of their exposure to lead-contaminated drinking water. In court filings, the companies, Veolia North America Lockwood, Andrews and Newman, and the Leo Daly Company argue that because the city of Flint decided not to use corrosion control in the pipes. The trial is scheduled to start next week.
When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom 752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Ann Williams.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology forecast. Partial sunshine develops here for today. We'll see high into the mid-30s. Winds out of the south at 5 to 15 miles per hour and gusting as high as 20. And for tonight, mostly cloudy sky. Temperatures holding rather steady. By Wednesday, a chance for snow showers, cloudy skies, a high of 38 degrees. And for your Thursday, mostly cloudy, a high around 30. Friday, a chance for snow, cloudy, high around 38. Then by Saturday, mostly cloudy sky conditions and a high around 22 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology forecast. Currently, it's
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show from my Saginaw Spirit home studio. Brought to you by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty, 989-295-7713. We'll contact you put you in touch with Linda, who can go to work for you for all of your real estate needs. She's located inside the Point at M46 and M47 in Saginaw Township, where you'll also find Cafe 476 with their delicious soups, foods, and beverages. Open line hour. So whatever you want to chat about, Saginaw, Bay City, 752-989-752-6111. Toll-free number, 866-790-WSGW. And that's inside the state of Michigan. Outside the state, or pretty much from anywhere. They don't charge you the roaming and long distance for most places anymore, so you can give us a free call and chat with us here on the air, whatever's, again, on your mind. It's what we like to do with these open sessions. We have a number of things to talk about, though. I just want to bring up one issue in case you are in the car market, used or otherwise. What a difference a strategy makes. General Motors struck a deal with a semiconductor chip maker, and that's keeping their assembly lines rolling in North America, while its chief competition, Ford, is idling many of its plants this week because of the shortage of semiconductor chips that are used in many car parts. And it's been crippling production. I remember the shock. Where was I? McDonald Ford for their anniversary. And there was a Ford regional representative there that I talked to. And we think of auto chips and, well, we think, okay, maybe there's a chip in the computer that runs the car's engine and all that stuff. In a Ford F-150 pickup, he told me there are approximately 1,800 chips. 1,800. No wonder there's a shortage, and while we are beginning to see it, I have said from the beginning, these automakers ought to be making their own chips, or semiconductor companies in this country need to be manufacturing those chips in this country with deals with the automakers. I've said it, and I'll stay with it. And we are beginning to see it now. We are beginning to see some investment in chip production in the United States. About time. I think the pandemic has taught us a lesson of being dependent on others, particularly Asian countries like China. I really think that if there's a silver lining in the pandemic, aside from learning how to deal with the pandemic in the future, I believe that maybe it was an awakening of how much we don't manufacture in this country, how much dependency we have on others like our meds from China. Come on. So I do believe we're seeing a turning point, and I think we're going to see a resurgence in manufacturing in the United States. And I think it's going on right now. All right. We have a caller. Roger is in Fairhaven Township. Roger, good morning to you.
Morning, Art.
Morning.
Quite an interesting first segment you had this morning with Mr. Sinclair.
Mm-hmm.
A term that I think is a misnomer, clean energy. I think it's far from the fact that mining that has to take, the production of petroleum that has to take place to create either solar panels and or the wind generators that are being erected. If it wasn't for petroleum or for mining operations to get the minerals out of the ground, neither of those two things would be able to be produced.
Yeah,
Period.
that's true, but if you talk to the scientists, their carbon footprint is nowhere near what a coal-fired plant, for example, puts out, which is that's the point they're making. I mean, when they call it clean energy, nothing is 100% clean.
No.
Nothing is, because it takes generation, it takes mining, it takes manufacturing. Everything has a cost, if you will. The question they deal with is the relativity of what that cost is. Maybe the term should be cleaner energy rather than clean energy. How's that?
We're playing word games again.
Well, but it is, isn't it? You're exactly right. And that, I think, and I asked this question, and that is part of the problem with climate change is the word games. It used to be global warming, but then all of a sudden we got these real cold spells. So they got rid of global warming, it became climate change.
Yeah.
And then they told us, and Peter agreed with me, they told us, every few years, a few years from now, the planet's doomed. And of course, when that doom came, we moved on to the next doom. And now we're in the 12-year doom. And that's part of the, I liken that to what the CDC has done with masks and vaccines and the pandemic. Every time we turned around, they gave us a different message. Who do you believe? And that's a problem. It's a problem in understanding what's really happening, because we get confusing messages.
Two programs that I recently viewed on PBS, our local PBS out of Bay City, Saginaw.
Yeah.
One was about the Ring of Fire. You're familiar with that term, I'm sure.
Yep.
The volcanic activity. And just a week or so ago, about methane that's being escaping into the atmosphere from permafrost in Alaska that they're studying, and also in the Arctic Circle. And they gave a number, I don't remember what it was, hundreds of thousands of tons in that range of pollution, my term, that is escaping into the atmosphere and is being trapped and is helping to cause.
Well, as long as you put it that way, helping to cause, it's one of the factors.
Yes.
Because if we're going to use that factor, then we can look at Michigan, where they want to come in and cap all these old wells that are dumping methane in the air. And that's another cause. So, I think what you're pointing out and what's true is that it is a compilation of factors. It's a bunch of things that cause what's happening to the planet. We're a part of it, but Mother Nature is also a big part of it.
Yeah. And one of the scientists, a lady scientist that they interviewed for the methane program, question was to her, what has to happen, to help stop the climate change or this methane atmosphere. And she said, well, there's really not much we can do about the methane, but what human activity has to do then is be reduced to
compensate.
Compensate for that. And I thought, well,
in other words, we have to compensate for Mother Nature. which is
Yeah.
which is a good trick. So,
Yeah.
all right,
All right.
Raj, thanks
sir.
for calling. I appreciate it. And let's talk to Dwayne and Frankenmuth before we take a break.
Hi, Art. I'm going to change directions,
Sure.
but along similar lines.
Yeah.
I went to my doctor and got my prescription. And prior to that, I was at Rite Aid, and I was just talking to the pharmacist there about a prostate cancer pill called Xtandi.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, now, for a person to come in and get it, out of pocket will be $3,100 plus dollars.
Yeah.
Plus, insurance will pay $10,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
This is just getting ludicrous. I mean,
well, it's always
you know,
it's
we used
not
to-
getting. I have to tell you, a lot of cancer drugs for years have been that way. It's not.
Right.
Let's put it this way. Unfortunately, it's not unusual. And what you know,
Well-
here's the thing, and I'll give you time here, but just let me make this point, because I talked years ago. I talked to someone in the pharma association, if you will, and asked about that. You know, why are our prices so high and everybody else in the world's paying less? Well, we have to help those third world countries also. Consequently, what we pay $1,000 for here, we can go down to Mexico and pay $50 for. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. We're paying the cost of all the research for the world.
Yes, I understand that. But you know, I mean, it's so out of line, you know. I mean, when the pharmacist told me, you know, my copay is $3,100 if I didn't have insurance, which is going to run out. I have one more year, and then I just won't be able to afford it. You know, I mean, there's no way I can afford, you know.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
And here, I mean, we're in a country where we talk about mass production leads to lower prices. Somewhere along the line, the drug industry forgot that.
No,
When
that's
we
not.
make
Whoa, wait a minute, Dwayne. That's not
Okay.
necessarily true, because, first of all, there's a huge cost in developing that drug, and
Yes, I
they base
understand
the
that.
price on how many of those prescriptions they believe they'll sell. Let's face it, that particular drug is not going to sell like metformin for diabetics that you get practically for nothing at the pharmacy. And so, in order to recoup their costs, and by the way, I'm not hyping. I'm not promoting the drug industry, because I think they got a lot of problems in the industry, and part of it is this pricing situation. But understand
that's
that
what
the
I'm-
supply and
yeah.
demand on that drug is far different than it is on aspirin. There may be
No, I
far
under-
fewer people, and they have to recover their costs. But there is a point in time when you have to say, okay, wait a minute now. Why am I paying for insurance? Why isn't insurance doing more? But of course, understand, if you want the insurance to pick up the bulk of that cost, your insurance is going to cost more. Nothing is free.
Yeah, yeah, I understand all that. But what I'm saying is, you know, there is, I don't know, we're losing sight of just, you know, big business or the drug industry or whatever you want to call it, you know, is so far removed from the consequences for the everyday person. You know, I mean,
Well, the question is this then. Let's take this a different way. Who should pay for it?
well, I understand that, but
Somebody has to pay for it.
Yes, but when you have produced so many items, you know, and you're just pumping it out as fast as they can, it doesn't quite fit the laws of supply and demand that prices keep going even higher. If it was really scarce, that's one thing in the research and so on. But this is an example, a drug that has been around for quite some time. And the number of people with, of men with prostate cancer, is in the millions.
Yep.
And,
all right.
The volume that they are, of their product that's being marketed and consumed, and people are paying, their copay and the insurance is paying whatever, it's still, there's no balance in terms.
I hear you,
So,
and I understand what you're saying, and it's a problem, and it's been talked about a lot, and nothing seems to happen with it. So we'll have to keep talking, I guess.
I'm hoping hoping Congressman Dowdy will hear this, and maybe he'll do something.
All righty. Take care. Thanks.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye-bye. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with more calls after these notes.
We've all seen how unpredictable life can be, but here's one thing you can count on. The Covenant Center for the Heart is here for you. More people in the Great Lakes Bay region trust their hearts to Covenant Healthcare than any other area hospital. Why? Most comprehensive cardiac care in the region. From diagnosis in our chest pain center, to the region's first structural heart disease program, to our cardiac rehabilitation and wellness center. And because we keep our patients safe, Covenant has been awarded an A rating for patient safety from the Leapfrog Group 7 times running. So if you have an existing heart condition, call your cardiologist. If you experience symptoms like chest pain or shortness of breath, call 911 or come to the Covenant Emergency Care Center. Don't delay care. Life and hearts can be unpredictable. Trust yours to Covenant for extraordinary care.
Grab your silk top hat and your best flapper dress and foxtrot the night away with the Disability Network of Mid-Michigan at Feathers and Fedoras, a Roaring 20s gala benefiting independent living programs for people with disabilities. Saturday, February 12th. Enjoy delicious food, dance to the music by Stone Street Revival, find Lady Luck at the casino, hit the speakeasy for Giggle Waters. Tickets are $50 per person. RSVP at www.dnmm.org/FAF. Feathers and Fedoras. Saturday, February 12th at Horizons Conference Center in Saginaw.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks open mixed. Investors are looking at more earnings news and some corporate changes. Wall Street was hoping sales forecast from Pfizer. Coty raised its expectations for this year, and the beauty stock has been gaining. Walt Disney reports its holiday quarter after the Wall Street close. Peloton Interactive's co-founder John Foley is stepping down as CEO. He'll switch to executive chairman. Peloton will cut approximately 2,800 corporate jobs, but it says instructors are not being let go. What would have been the biggest semiconductor merger in history has been called off. NVIDIA had plans to buy ARM. The deal faced opposition from regulators, and ARM is now working on becoming a public company. That's your... I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Biden's massive spending plan has expanded America's money supply and taken money out of your pocket. But you can fight back against runaway inflation by sheltering your IRA or 401k with gold through Birch Gold Group. This is Stephen K. Bannon, and I'm proud to be a customer of Birch Gold. Join me. Birch Gold has created a free info kit on protecting your retirement with gold in a tax-sheltered account. Just text the words SHELTER to 989898. Text SHELTER to 989898 and learn how to shelter your IRA or 401k with gold.
iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
The secret to staying on track with your goals? HelloFresh. Their delicious recipes and doorstep delivery take the hassle out of mealtime, and their fit and wholesome plan makes eating well easier than ever. With HelloFresh, you can take your pick from 50 menu and market items each week, and even customize your box by swapping in proteins and sides that work for you. Get 16 free meals plus 3 gifts. Use code Radio16 at HelloFresh.com. That's code Radio16 at HelloFresh.com/Radio16.
When you fill your prescriptions at Walgreens, you can track the progress of your order in real time. Know the price of your prescriptions before you go to pick them up. And anytime you have questions, use Pharmacy Chat to ask an expert 24 hours a day. Help with your meds from Walgreens. Side effects may include breathing a little easier because your prescription stress melted away. Learn more on the Walgreens app.
This price isn't final. This is an estimated price based on your insurance coverage.
The Saginaw Spirit play here.
Chance here for the Spirit. Lead feed for Newhart. Come on to Wokas. He scored!
The Saginaw Spirit will try to make it back-to-back wins when they host the London Knights this Wednesday night at the Dow Benz Center. Pre-game coverage begins at 6:50 p.m. on 100.5 FM News Radio WSGW. Hey, there are plenty of seats available too. Visit SaginawSpirit.com for more information.
Saginaw Spirit Hockey is on WSGW.
Tonight, it's Michigan Wolverines basketball. After falling short against number 3 Purdue, the Wolverines are back on the road as they'll try to get a much-needed win when they visit the Penn State Nittany Lions, with coverage beginning at 8:30 p.m. on 790 News Radio WSGW. Go Blue!
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. And let's see, Scott is in Saginaw. Scott, good morning.
Hey, morning, Art.
Morning.
Hey, I want to talk a little bit here about the president and his empty threats with Russia. He was talking there with the chancellor from Germany yesterday, and Biden came out and said, we will shut down Nord Stream 2 pipeline if Russia invades. Well, Biden has zero authority to shut it down. And furthermore...
Well, hold on a minute. Whoa. Are you positive about that? Because it took the United States to say they could build it, to let them build it. You know that, don't you? The United States had to approve that line with their other allies, I guess. And I think the reality is that once it leaves the Russian border, they can shut it down.
I don't think he has any authority to do it, from what I'm understanding. After it's out of his hands, it's in Germany's hands. Anyways, Germany didn't say that they would work with that. So, to me, it's just one more empty threat that he has out there. And then on top of it, you have his Jake Sullivan, his security advisor, over the weekend. He came out and said, if we do shut down the pipeline, what we will do is we'll go around the world and find other oil, and we'll send that to Germany.
Yeah, I heard
so what he's admitting to is we'll go ahead and buy our fuel from Russia, just, not through the pipeline. You can't make this stuff up. And then you take Biden's deputy treasury secretary over the weekend. He comes out and he says, well, we're going to sanction the elites of Russia, the ones that have their money in American accounts. So my God, we have General Milley going to tell the Chinese if we're going to invade. We have this guy, the deputy treasury secretary, telling Russia, hey, get your money out of American accounts because this is where we're going to sanction you. Tell me these guys aren't working hand in hand, or it's just straight up in.
Personally, and I this is my guess. This is a gut feeling. I don't think Putin is going to invade the Ukraine, except maybe he may try and steal a little piece on the border. And I think he's doing this to stir the pot. I really do.
Well, again, whether he's going to or not, I just wish our president would just be quiet. Because when they come out there and draw red lines in the sand and do this and that and then don't do anything, and he sees that.
Well,
the
that's
Democrats
to
in
be
this
seen
country-
yet. That's to be seen whether that red line would be crossed or not. But I hear what you're saying. In
Well,
the
I
past, we've had a lot of empty red lines that have been crossed, and we haven't done anything. So I think
Well,
that.
I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, a lot of the Democrats in this country might be a little duped about really what is going on, but these world leaders are not duped. They know Joe Biden. They see Joe Biden stumbling, bumbling around. They know he's not in control. He's not in charge of his own faculties anymore. I'm sorry. I'm not being mean to the man.
Yeah.
Something's going on with him.
All right.
Yeah,
Good
and
enough.
The world sees it. All right.
Good enough, Scott. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye now. All right. Saginaw Bay City, 752-6111, toll free, 866-790, WSGW. It's not, the reality is this is not a U.S. problem. U.S. is part of NATO, and it is a NATO problem. And it stems from the fact that Putin doesn't want to see the Ukraine in NATO because he doesn't want a NATO country bordering him. And so the NATO nations have to get together. And if the NATO nations draw the line in the sand, not just the president of the United States, but the NATO nations draw that line in the sand. And if Putin were to take action and they don't honor that line in the sand, then they're in trouble. But if they honor that line in the sand, they might be able to get a reaction out of Putin. Time will tell. We got to take a break. We'll come back. When we return, we'll get to Susan in Bay City right after these notes.
Now's a great time to save big on your next project during Menards' Race to Savings Sale. Menards is #1 when it comes to selection of Purdy painting tools. They deliver on the highest quality brushes, rollers, paint kits, trays, and more. Make sure you're covered with everything you need for your next project. Save big on all Purdy painting tools and great deals are going on now through February 19th during Menards' Race to Savings Sale.
Save big money at Menards. Sticks, Saturday, March 19th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Born in Chicago, raised on rock and roll, Tommy Shaw and Sticks. Too much time on my hands. Tickets start at $44 and on sale now at the Soaring Eagle and Eagles Landing box offices or online at etix.com. Sticks, playing all the hits. Saturday, Eagle Casino and Resort. Get your rock on. Party and play with Sticks at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Sticks, Saturday, March 19th at Soaring Eagle Casino. Tickets on sale now. Details at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar. Plated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Find more jobs on thenewmonster.com. Jobs for night owls, early risers. Jobs for people who do their best thinking in the morning, or the evening, or the shower, or with TV cameras pointed in their face. Jobs for people who like the way they look in scrubs, or in cowboy hats, or tool belts. Even jobs for people who think they have a voice for radio. With more advice and jobs for careers nomads, Monster has all you need to find the right fit. Go to thenewmonster.com or download our app today.
Defend your acres from broadleaf weeds and grasses with Empirus, a groundbreaking line of corn herbicides from Helena. Empirus herbicides protect young corn with powerful knockdown and consistent residual control. With exclusive 2- and 3-way combinations, Empirus herbicides broaden your control and empower you with application flexibility. It's your field. Beat back intruding forces and improve early corn growth with Empirus herbicides. Always follow label instructions and check registration before use. Contact your Helena representative to learn more.
Research shows people remember radio ads. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's an ad that'll really take you back.
Back in my day, I heard a voice from the radio say, Liberty Mutual customizes my home insurance so I only pay for what I need. I'm getting on in years now, but heavens to Betsy, there are some things an old fella like me just never forgets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. RocketGrabPlus.com.
With Valentine's Day right around the corner, this week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is a perfect gift for you and that special someone. It's for the Salt Room and Wellness. We're going to get one salt room session for two at the Salt Room and Wellness Spa for only $45. Each salt therapy session lasts 45 minutes. Salt therapy boosts immune system and is 100% antibacterial. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Broadcasting from the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios, 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we return here on the Art Lewis Show, and we get back to our phones. Susan is in Bay City. Susan, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. I've been listening to the program, of course, and, if President Trump was still in office, this Russian situation would never even be occurring, and we know that. And
How do we know that? How do we know that?
Oh, you know that they were afraid of him. You know he had the world. He had it controlled. And that is one of the things. He ran everything perfectly. And that gentleman that called about his prescription prices and drug prices, if you remember correctly, President Trump, he was actually putting in price controls for our prescriptions. Mm-hmm. And it's just sad that millions of these illegals are pouring across our borders. And you can bet if they needed that drug that gentleman can't even afford to buy for himself, they would get it. We would be paying for it. Our tax dollars are going to buy drugs for illegal people. And our citizens and our seniors are not going to be able to afford to buy for themselves.
Yeah, well, I agree. It's ridiculous the way the pricing of drugs is so different around the world and what we do, even for those who come into the country illegally. I understand that.
Maybe that gentleman needs to go to Mexico and come across the border.
Well,
because if you can go to Mexico and buy the drugs, or if you can come into this country as illegal and have everything paid for, geez Louise, our citizens don't get that. Our senior citizens don't get that. We have to pay for everything, and we're paying for them. And matter of fact, the other thing I wanted to bring up is I was really annoyed over $1 billion that Governor Whitmer was going to put out for bonuses for the teachers. And my way of thinking was she's using our tax dollars to buy the teachers' union votes for herself, because she's also going to stretch it out between 3 and 4 and 5 years. And no other group of people, are being singled out for this, but we all know that the teachers' unions are very powerful. I don't see the senior citizens getting anything.
Yeah, well, just be careful when you say we all know, because that's not true. There are a lot who don't.
Well, that's true. They voted for.
It's like saying all the people. Well, all the people don't agree. And that's just the nature of the beast. But I do agree that that certainly could be part of the reasoning behind the money.
Yes, and not only that, but she vetoed all the bills that the Republicans put through for parents to have school choice, and for our tax dollars to be used if they wanted to send their child to a private school, a religious school. That should be a parent choice. And the kids in the public schools are really getting shortchanged. There's a lot of them that are graduating, can't even read at a 5th grade level.
Yeah, and I had somebody send me, one of the guys at the station sent a note here. Why doesn't Congress allow Medicare to negotiate drug prices? I think they should. And the next comment was, Whitmer proposed to abolish the pension tax. Well, yeah, that helps their voters too, doesn't it? Because a lot of those pensioners were union people and things of that nature.
Well, absolutely. And
that's a two-way street.
I feel that she's using my tax dollars, and I would prefer myself, I would prefer, which I'm sure a lot of other people might, that the parents have school choice. And especially with the situation as it is right now, with a lot of the kids going to virtual and the mask mandates and on and on and on.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a waning of the mask mandates because they are beginning to subside across the country now. Even California
if you watch the scientists and all the top doctors, and physicians that were on the Senate panel that Senator Ron Johnson from Virginia had, the masks are absolutely useless.
Yeah.
Well,
we're not going to settle that argument here, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, but I watched it, and it was excellent. They made points and they showed the data and how they proved it. So
yeah, but it was, understand this, and I'm not poo-pooing it, I'm just telling you this. That was a Ron Johnson panel, and you're absolutely right. So whom do you think he would invite to speak to his panel? In the same way that the Democrats would only invite those people to the panel that they wanted to hear from, that spoke what they wanted to hear.
No, you're wrong here, because Dr. Fauci, they were all invited and they all declined.
Yeah, fine.
He gave the roll call of everybody that was invited to this panel.
Yeah, but
and
all right.
They all declined.
Yeah, understand though that from their viewpoint they thought it was a setup, and from Republican viewpoints, some of the things the Democrats are doing are setups. So
Yeah, like
I mean, there's reasons for it,
Like
and that's
the January 6th.
well. There's an example. Yes, there's an example.
Yeah,
There's an
that's
example.
nothing but a
So,
kangaroo court.
all
And
right,
I feel so sorry for those people.
good
Thanks.
enough, Susan. Thanks. Bye now.
Bye.
All right, lines open for you. Give us a call if you want to chat about something, this or anything else. We're here.
Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do.
And now, by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you roommates. Go forth.
That's not the vow. CPAP have you and your spouse sleeping in separate rooms? It might be time to look into Inspire. Inspire works inside the body with just a click of a remote. That's right, just a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
And now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that non-contact thermometers are not accurate. They also have inaccurate information on their labels regarding accuracy. New COVID strains are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
The secret to staying on track with your goals? HelloFresh. Their delicious recipes and doorstep delivery take the hassle out of mealtime, and their fit and wholesome plan makes eating well easier than ever. With HelloFresh, you can take your pick from 50 menu and market items each week, and even customize your box by swapping in proteins and sides that work for you. Get 16 free meals plus 3 gifts. Use code Radio16. /Radio16. That's code Radio16 at HelloFresh.com/Radio16.
Now, a WSGW Morning Team Show memorable moment.
Lionel Richie has created fragrances called Hello.
Oh.
And it's a fragrance for women.
That's actually neat.
And men.
One called Lady and Dancing on the Ceiling, Brick House.
You've been paying a lot of attention to his fragrances.
When it came to crafting a fragrance, he said it's not like crafting a song. It's just a careful arrangement of notes for a song. Now it's a careful arrangement of whatever your fragrance is going to be. So, but I have descriptions here. So the women's fragrance has pear, jasmine, tuberose, and honey. The men have lavender, violet leaves, and vetiver. You can smell like Lionel Richie. Men's and women's versions. Hello. Just in time for the holidays.
Oh,
you'll wear it all night long.
Oh, Pat.
One line after another. He knows his Lionel
Truly.
Richie, doesn't he?
The WSGW Morning Team Show. 30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, heading down the home stretch on the Art Lewis Show. Back to our phones. Mike is in Thomas Township. Mike, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Art. I heard you talking about Medicare there in the course of the conversation, and I just got my couple of prescriptions refilled, and they've changed the tier Medicare has on some of the meds, so now I have to pay co-pays on it. I never had any co-pays. All of a sudden, now the co-pays are going up. Same thing with some of the doctors, like $5. Now it's $20.
Well, hang on. Did Medicare change that, or did your insurance carrier change that?
No, Medicare, because I called Medicare about it, and they said the tiers have changed. I call I use.
But it doesn't matter who. Yeah.
And I called them first, and they no. So then I called Medicare, and so. Again, I know that we're paying more for Medicare now because I'm a retiree also, so. And,
well, you're paying more for Part B. Prescription plans are separate unless you have an advantage plan.
Yeah, Medicare went up, period. Just the basic Medicare went
up.
I don't know how
Part
much
B
it was, but.
Went up about $30-some-odd, I think.
Yeah, but other than that, well, I'm doing great, until I get to the gas pump or get to the grocery store.
Yeah, like the rest of us. All right.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike. Take care. Bye-bye. And we have another Mike, this one in Auburn. Mike in Auburn, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
The previous lady caller said something about using my tax dollars to fund private or religious schools. And like you said, everybody has a different opinion. They object to that. I'm a product of the a parochial school system, and I think I had a decent education, but what was really lacking was science. And for the charter schools now, most of them, they're the poorest school in the school districts. If you look student capability of passing tests. So
where'd you get that information?
Absolutely disagree.
Where'd you get that information that charter schools don't produce?
It's published by the state, and it has percentages of students who pass standardized tests. And some of them have the percentages are the lowest.
Some of them. And could we also say some public schools are the same way?
As I look at the public schools around here, the answer's they've got better scores.
All right. But, there's going to be, how can I put this? There's going to be, I hate to use the phrase winners and losers, but there's going to be winners and losers in all categories. Not all charter schools are as good as other charter schools. Not all public schools are as good as other public schools. Not all parochial schools are as good as other parochial schools.
I have to agree. All I'm saying is if you look at the test scores of all of them, just do that sometime after that.
And I'll
state public.
And I'll tell you something else. This is just my personal feeling. It's a little bit off the topic here, but those test scores, I am tired of schools having to only teach to the test instead of teach to the subject.
That I have to.
So that, it stands the little hairs up on the back of my neck every time I hear everything is test. So anyway, but I hear what you're saying, and I just point out that there's inequalities everywhere. But the bigger question is, should public money go to private education? That's the crux of it, and it's a constitutional question, and and there's all kinds of discussions around it, and I don't know that it'll ever be solved. To tell you the truth, I think it's going to be different everywhere.
Yeah, probably, but I hope not.
Well, that you can, I hope one way, but I'm a realist the other way. So I guess that's where it's at. All right, Mike. Hey, appreciate the call, my friend. Thank you. Take care.
Yep.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Anyway, we have just a couple of moments left here. So let me, a couple of things I wanted to talk about. The Canadians have pushed back against the Republicans in this country, the GOP, mainly because a couple of Republicans have come out and offered support for the protests of the COVID-19 restrictions that have besieged downtown Ottawa for more than a week when the truckers parked their trucks there. And the Canadians are saying that maybe the Republicans in this country ought to mind their own business and not interfere in Canada's business, which I'm sure if Canadians were to come down here and tell Republicans or Democrats how to do things, we would push back the same way. However, what the Canadians have to understand is that the beauty of America is free speech. And if the Republicans want to express an opinion, they don't have any control on what's happening in Canada. They are more than welcome to express their opinion and let their voice be heard. If Canada doesn't like it, that's fine. They can express their opinion too. But, I'm certainly not going to tell Republicans or anybody else, Democrats for that matter either, that they shouldn't voice their opinions about something they believe in, whether it's in this country or not in this country. All right, let us close out and tell you what's ahead on Focus when we return.
Planning your home improvement projects for 2022? Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been helping their Great Lakes Bay region clients for 64 years with like remodeling a kitchen or bathroom, replacing a furnace or boiler, and installing central air. Maybe your project is smaller, like a water heater or sump pump replacement, updating a kitchen faucet and garbage disposal. No project is too big or too small. Showroom where you will find products to fit your budget, design idea, and mechanical need. Reamer is proud to carry American-made products like Bradford white water heaters, American Standard heating and cooling equipment, Birch custom cabinets, and Cambria quartz. When you work with Reamer, you'll get expert knowledge and advice. Installation is completed by state licensed installers. So start your new year home improvement. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Call 989-792-8738 or visit reamerplumbing.com.
Now is the perfect time to start thinking about what direction you want to go this summer. Let Capocco Community Credit Union help you with a summer adventure loan. All roads, paths, and trails lead to fun with a new toy for the summer, like a dirt bike, maybe a new ATV. Entire family can enjoy, like a camper. See a Capocco Community Credit Union loan officer today and ask how they can help. Find out more at capocco.org, member NCUA.
Water stains on the shower glass. Try rubbing some shaving cream on.
Housekeeping trick in the book.
Handling timesheets now.
But they need a proper bookkeeper to keep finances tidy.
New equipment is a business expense, right?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit beefy, or even with type 2, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Affordable term life insurance is out there. Speak with Big Lou at 800-481-1458, 800-481-1458, or visit biglou.com. He's on meds too.
This Sunday, it's Super Bowl 56, and you can hear complete coverage on 790 News Radio WSGW. Former Detroit Lion Matthew Stafford leads the NFC champion Los Angeles Rams against the AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals. Pre-game coverage begins Sunday at 2 p.m. with kickoff at 6:30 and is sponsored by Wolf Isles, Ace Hardware in Saginaw, Schaefer and Beer Line in Frankenmuth, and Lingle Equipment Company in Saginaw. It's Super Bowl 56 live this Sunday at 2 p.m. on 790 News Radio.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Art Lewis Show. We'll be back tomorrow with lots more, but thank you for joining us today. Coming up on Focus, we're going to focus on Rocket Grab Plus and tell you what's in the Rocket Grab Plus store that you could save a lot of money on. Before that, the news from CBS and the local report. That is all ahead here on WSGW. And then we'll be back right after the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios.
This is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. Nominations out this morning for Hollywood's big night, the 94th Academy Awards.
I wonder, what little lady made these?
Power of the Dog has 12 nominations, including Best Picture, Best Director, and I can't control it. Dune, Licorice Pizza, Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, King Richard and Nightmare Alley, among the other movies in the running. Fandango's Eric Davis.
Drive My Car is a surprise. It's a Japanese film, and that director was also nominated. He becomes the third Japanese director to be nominated.
Snubbed, Gucci Needs New Black, Lady Gaga, and House of Gucci. Steven Spielberg gets his 8th nomination for Best Director, this time for West Side Story. He's won twice. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
With COVID case numbers falling sharply, some states are winding down mask rules. Infectious disease expert Dr. William Schaffner hopes it's not too much too soon.
They would like to get rid of the mask and return to normal. But on the other hand, you have people such as myself in public health who think it's still a little bit too early.
A bipartisan congressional panel is calling for a new push to end the nation's deadly opioid epidemic.
Darian House of Florida lost his 18-year-old son to an apparent drug overdose.
It's hard. The difficulty of me going on without my son.
He and his wife, Tawana, blame the availability of the opioid fentanyl, which is sometimes put into other drugs.
He didn't necessarily know what he was taking in.
In a report released today, the Commission on Combating Synthetic Opioid Trafficking says the U.S. should work harder to stop the flow of chemicals used to make synthetic opioids. Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
Russian military hardware is in motion as the U.S. warns of a possible invasion of Ukraine. On CBS Mornings, Pentagon spokesman John Kirby.
In some cases, they're landing ships that are designed to put troops ashore. So all of that further points to the possibility that he intends to do some sort of military action in Ukraine.
Hyundai and Kia are telling the owners of nearly 500,000 SUV models in the U.S. to park them outdoors because they can catch fire even if the engines have been turned off. There have been 11 reports of fires, no injuries. Is asking for forgiveness for grievous faults in handling clergy sex abuse cases, but in a written response to an independent report, he does not admit to any wrongdoing. Wall Street, right now in the early going today, the Dow is up 188 points. This is CBS News.
There's always something new under the sun. CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
Your career takes flight when you join the winning teams at Soaring Eagle and Saginaw Eagles Landing. The premier gaming and entertainment destinations in Michigan are currently hiring for a wide variety of positions for all levels of experience. Visit us online at SoaringEagleCasino.com for a full list of openings and learn about all the benefits and the new $15 an hour minimum wage. Apply today at Soaring Eagle Casino Resort and Saginaw Eagles Landing.
How is your child doing in school this year? Do you feel they are not performing as well as they could? Did you know that this could be due to visual performance? At Associates in Eye Care, they help you determine if your child's vision is not performing as well as it could. They don't just give your child glasses. They evaluate the entire visual and ocular system to detect, treat, and prevent visual disorders and ocular diseases. To make an appointment with Dr. Cox, Dr. Kazmarek, or Dr. Angle, call 792-8686. Associates in Eye Care, caring for our patients as we would want to be treated.
Message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that the widely used non-contact thermometers are not accurate and have high probabilities for false negative readings. New COVID strands are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Don't wait. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate. More at Exergen.com.
Watching TaxSlayer calculate your refund feels like
climbing to the apex of a roller coaster.
Here we go!
And flying down the tracks. At maximum refund speed. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
It's 22 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Amy Williams. The parents of a teenager who is accused of killing 4 students at a Michigan school are facing a key hearing to determine. Attorneys for James and Jennifer Crumbly asked a judge to consider a postponement so they can further prepare, but the request was turned down. The Crumbleys, who were in court for today's hearing, are charged with involuntary manslaughter. They're accused of making a gun accessible to Ethan Crumbly and failing to intervene when he showed possible signs of mental distress. 4 students at Oxford High School were killed and 7 more people were injured on November 30th. Earlier that day, the Crumbleys declined to take Ethan home when they were confronted with their son's drawing of violence. Guidehouse Incorporated, a financial advisory group, will be working with the city of Sac to appropriately allocate its $52 million in American Rescue Plan Act funds. WSGW's Rick Antonio has more.
The up to $850,000 contract between the two will last 3 years, the deadline the city has to use the money, and will be invoiced on a month-to-month basis, allowing City Council to ramp up or down services or even terminate the deal if no longer needed. City Manager Tim Morales says while the contract may look like a lot of money at about 1.6% of the city's grant allocation, he says it would cost about the same to hire specialized employees that wouldn't have the same resources to work with.
We would probably need 2 employees for 5 years. They need to be accountants or grant specialists. That's in line what it would cost F members to do the same kind of work and don't have to recruit them. They have a bigger team. Ultimately, if we had our own staff, we'd be laying them off at the end of the grant period.
Morales says the work done by Guidehouse will allow the ARPA money to be spent both within federal guidelines to prevent any kind of payback and efficiently by looking for other grant or funding programs suggested allocations could use at the state or federal. News Radio 100.5 and 790.
WSGW News Time is 11:07.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
WSGW News Time is 11:08. A protest in Canada over vaccine mandates is causing major problems for truckers and other drivers at the Ambassador Bridge that connects Detroit and Windsor, Ontario. The bridge is closed this morning for drivers going from Detroit to Windsor. It's been shut down for more than 12 hours, and some truckers have been waiting that whole time. Clay Bart, a truck driver making his way to Detroit from Illinois, says the bridge closure is being felt across the state.
All the truck stops out Benton Harbor, Berrien Springs, Chicago, Firekeepers Casino. There's a whole bunch of trucks sitting out there because there's it's for them to go when they get to Detroit.
Traffic from Canada to Detroit is moving. Supporters of the Freedom Convoy in Canada have been blocking traffic at border crossings across the country as they protest the government's vaccination mandate. A shortage of U.S. Coast Guard icebreakers during the winter shipping season being attributed to equipment fires, engine breakdowns, and scheduled maintenance. At 1.5 of 8 icebreakers were out of service, contributing to the loss of 68 days of icebreaking on the Great Lakes. Icebreakers were unavailable to immediately dislodge a freighter stuck in the St. Mary's River on its way to the Sioux Locks. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers had to delay the seasonal closure of the locks by one day because it was the last bound ship of the season. The latest report out from the state health department shows Michigan's COVID numbers continue to plummet. Just 9,800 new confirmed cases over the past 3 days for an average of roughly 3,300 per day. That's the lowest daily case count since November 10th. There are also just 38 new deaths being reported. Just over 2,700 patients remain hospitalized with COVID-19 statewide, the fewest since November 5th. When you see news happening, call the WSGW Newsroom 752-0790. It's 11:10. I'm Ann Williams.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology forecast. Partial sunshine develops here for today. We'll see high into the mid-30s. Winds out of the south at 5 to 15 miles per hour and gusting as high as 20. And for tonight, mostly cloudy sky conditions. We'll see temperatures holding around. By Wednesday, a chance for snow showers, cloudy skies, a high of 38 degrees. And for your Thursday, mostly cloudy, a high around 30. Friday, a chance for snow, cloudy, high around 38. Then by Saturday, mostly cloudy sky conditions and a high around 22 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 25.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online. .com.
Well, good morning and welcome to another edition of Focus on WSGW from my Saginaw Spirit Home studio. I'm Art Lewis, and today's program brought to you by RoofMax, the safe, proven, and affordable alternative to expensive and extensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out about RoofMax online at roofmax.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751. That's RoofMax with 2 X's. And today on Focus, we're going to focus on Rocket Grab Plus and let you know what's in the Rocket Grab Plus store. For those of you not familiar with Rocket Grab Plus, you go online to rocketgrabplus.com, and that's plus P-L-U-S, and sign up. Cost you nothing. Just put in some basic information. And then whenever new Rocket Grab deals come along, you'll be the first to know. You'll be notified, and you can go online and save yourself at least 50% on all those deals. And it is strictly up to you what you buy and don't buy. You never have to spend a nickel if you don't want any of the items, but it's nice to know they're out there if you do. And some of them go really quickly. So the really good ones that everybody wants, particularly restaurant discounts, seem to go quickly. And, when you get word of it, you should go online right away and sign up if that's what you want to do and buy it. Let us take a look now. Current deal in Saginaw at the Salt Room Spa and Wellness, the Salt Room and Wellness Spa in Saginaw. This is a salt room session for 2. It's a $90 value for only $45. You get a salt room session for 2 at the Salt Room and Wellness Spa in Saginaw. And it boosts your immune system. And it's 100% antibacterial. Salt therapy sessions last about 45 minutes. You can read a book or even take a nap while relaxing to the calming background music playing in the room. And again, this is for 2. It's a $90 value, yours for only $45 on Rocket Grab Plus. Next up, Applied Training Solutions. Here is a 4-person private 60-minute firearm virtual training event. Applied Training and Solutions is offering this private session, a $100 value, for only $50, and they're located inside the Midland Mall. You can enjoy a 4-person private virtual firearms training event taught by certified instructors to teach you what you need to know for safe firearm handling from Applied Training Solutions, LLC, the Midwest's premier firearms simulated training center. And again, it's a $100 value. It is yours for only $50. And here from the same company, from Applied Training Solutions, is a CPL class, $150 for only $75. This CPL class is located inside the Midland Mall. CPL class is necessary for anyone looking for the proper certification to apply for a concealed pistol license in the state of Michigan. And you must be 21 or older. Again, this is a $150 value for only $75 for the CPL class from Applied Training Solutions. All on RocketGrabPlus.com. That's where you go to find all of these items. Next up, from Num Num Ninja, parties, events, catering, hibachi wraps. It's a $17 gift certificate to Num Num Ninja for only $8.50. And you get a choice of a chicken or veggie wrap along with a cheesecake. They're locally owned and operated. They offer a spin on traditional steakhouse hibachi. Their hibachi is served with homemade yum yum sauce inside a flour tortilla. Easy to handle for concerts, parties, corporate lunches, and everything else. You can follow them on Facebook to stay up to date where they're located each week. Again, it's a $17 certificate for only $8.50 to Num Num Ninja. We're going to take a break. We come back. We'll look at some of the other items inside of Rocket Grab Plus.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of Roof Max shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money, guaranteed with Roof Max, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do. And now, by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you roommates. Go forth.
That's not the vow you took. But if struggles with CPAP have you and your spouse sleeping in separate rooms, it might be time to look into Inspire. Inspire works inside the body with just the click of a remote. That's right, just a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Now is the perfect time to start thinking about what direction you want to go. This Community Credit Union help you with a summer adventure loan. All roads, paths, and trails lead to fun with a new toy for the summer, like a dirt bike, maybe a new ATV, or even something the entire family can enjoy, like a camper. See a Capocco Community Credit Union loan officer today and ask how they can help. Find out more at capocco.org, member NCUA.
This is important news. If you have unfiled tax returns, the IRS is shifting gears and ramping up investigations on non-filers this year. If you failed to file your tax returns for a year or more, or you owe back taxes, now's the time to call Optima Tax Relief before the IRS finds you. Optima is America's #1 most trusted tax resolution firm, specialized in helping individuals, families, and businesses get right with the IRS. Their Initiative, a powerful new program that can make resolving tax issues easier. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, Optima's award-winning team has helped thousands of people protect their paychecks, bank accounts, homes, and businesses by putting their tax problems to rest, resolving over $1 billion in tax debts for their clients. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
Art Lewis, did you do any pay-per-view event this weekend?
No.
No, then you didn't do this. Okay. Dave, Pat, you
Nope,
didn't?
never.
Okay.
No.
So you weren't paying to see the first ever PFC event.
PFC event.
The Pillow Fight Championship.
Oh.
For the first time ever, Steve Williams, who is the man that had a dream of turning childhood horseplay into a professional combat sport. I kid you not. There was both women's divisions and men's divisions.
Well, it's a real workout, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That is. No, it is. I remember having pillow fights in gym class. I bet you can't even do pillow fights in grade school anymore.
Can't do dodgeball. Can you do pillow fights?
Probably.
Lost with the football coverage.
Yeah, I was watching paint dry.
You better go watch out. Some pillow fighter's going to come up and teach you a lesson.
Where I'm from, if we had pillow fights, we'd probably put rocks in the pillows.
You New Yorkers.
The Morning Team, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
You are in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you here on Focus, where we focus today on RocketGrabPlus.com, taking a look at some of the other items that are in the Rocket Grab Plus store. Here is a year membership to 120 Fitness in Saginaw. It's a $318 value for $159. You save 50%. You sign up now, and it's half off. And with this deal, you can get a chance to check out the Old Town Saginaw's only gym. You set up your membership. After you buy your membership, there's a number to call, and you set it up. They're located at 118 South Hamilton. At 120 Fitness offers you top-of-the-line Vision Fitness and Londice cardio equipment, body solid dumbbells, a variety of strength training equipment, on-site personal trainer, fitness classes, lockers, and changing rooms. And they also offer a stretching and abdominal area where you'll find medicine balls, Bosu balls, mats, resistant bands, and lots more. And again, this is a one-year membership, $318 value for only $159 at 120 Fitness. Here is a Wonder Burger gift certificate, $13 value for $6.50. Burgers on the go. Our truck is more than just a place to grab lunch. It's a place to get great burgers. They grind the beef daily in their truck and ensure only the best quality for you. They bring great food to locations all over. And be sure and follow them on social media. Burgers on the go. They grind their own. It's an official burger of CMU football in a spot near you. Check them out on Facebook and follow them on Facebook. Again, it's called Wonder Burger. Burgers on the go. $13 certificate for only $6.50. We mentioned the annual membership to 120 Fitness. Let's say you want to try them for a month. Well, here is a monthly membership for it's $32 value for only $16. You sign up for that month-long membership at the 120 Fitness, 118 South Hamilton. And you can try them out for a month. See how well you like them with all their wonderful equipment. Next up, we have a Salon Blue Cut and Brow Wax, a $63 value for $31.50. And you book an appointment with the deal, and walk-ins are not available. This is by appointment only. Ask for Owen, Emily, Courtney W., or Kayla when scheduling. Salon Blue is a full salon, spa, and boutique. You'll leave happy and feeling like new from Salon Blue. And again, it's a $63 value for only $31.50. One Up Games and Repairs, $25 certificate for only $12.50. One Up Games is a veteran-owned company that offers buy, sell, trade, and repairs of video games, consoles, cell phones, arcade games, and more. 2 locations, one in Saginaw, one in Bay City. They offer a wide variety of products such as new and used video games, consoles, accessories, board games, and movies, and they also repair tablets, game systems, cell phones, computers, and more. This is a $25 gift certificate for only $12.50. Let's see what else we have. Uplift, a $50 gift certificate. It's a $100 value for a party of 4, including 2 adults and 2 youth, for a tie-dye session at Uplift Creative Center in Midland or Bay City. Again, a $100 value, yours for only $50. Hampton's Boutique in Hampton's infrared sauna for $7.50. It's a $15 value. Also at Hampton's, their Versa Spa spray tan, a $17.50 certificate. It's worth $35. You're paying half price. All of that at Hampton's Boutique, where you can also get a $20 gift certificate to the boutique for only $10, and a KBL Level 6 tanner at Hampton's, a $33 value for only $16.50. And finally, here is a $25 gift certificate for $12.50 to Joyce's Purple Palette in Auburn. And they host a variety of different classes on site where you can learn to decorate your own cornhole boards, planters, benches, signs, and lots more. And drop-ins are welcome. So those are all the items you'll find on RocketGrabPlus.com. All you have to do is go to RocketGrabPlus.com and sign up, and every week you'll get notice of what those items are. Don't wait. Do it today. And that'll do it for Focus.
Great Lakes Bay Health Centers would like to remind you that building a defense against COVID-19 will take all of us. That's why we're proud to offer not only COVID testing, but also free COVID